I remember I made a snobbish remark, and I don't know what it was about. And I was probably in middle school.
Mm.
And I'm not sure what I said, but I remember my mom's response was, "What would we do if the trash man didn't show up to work?" So I think that people in general don't have respect for our industries until it's time for them to need us.
Mhm.
If your AC went out in July in California, how much respect would you have for the HVAC man then? When your car cannot go anywhere and you can't YouTube it and your uncle can't get it because you guys don't have a lift and you don't have a computer and you don't have the technology, what do you do then? So I think we have to teach the public that we're not just dirty fingernails and, blue collar, blue pants, Timberland boots or whatever boots the guys wear. Um, it's dirty hands and clean money.
All right, thank you everyone for joining us for another episode of the Lift Your Shop podcast. I'm Kelsey Ostrom, CEO and co-founder of Lift Auto Pro Marketing, and today I have another amazing guest. I have Tonnika Haynes, based out of the Chapel Hill, North Carolina area, owner of Brown's Automotive. So, Tonnika, thank you so much for coming on with us today.
Thanks so much for the invitation.
Yeah, so
Appreciate it.
again, I'm very excited. This is the first time we're getting a chance to meet and chat. But to kind of start things off, how did you get involved in the automotive industry?
Oh, well, I'll tell people that I was born into the industry. So my father started his collision shop when I was 3
Oh
back in
wow.
1980. So don't do the math. Don't try to figure out how old I am. So my dad started our business as a collision center, 1980. We moved into our current location in 2001, and actually 2 weeks before 9/11, right?
Wow.
Yeah, it was crazy. So he retired about 9 years ago now.
Mhm.
It was 9 years ago on August the 8th. And when he retired, we rented out the collision center to a company, and then I just took over the mechanical shop. So that was difficult for me because I didn't know anything about it. We only opened the mechanical portion of our shop because we were playing the whole game with an insurance company. Like with
Oh.
insurance companies, I think their rates at the time were like 38 and $40 an hour,
Mhm.
even for mechanical. But if you could sublet it to a mechanical shop, you could charge what you want.
Yeah.
So we built a different business just for that money. So I kind of had to build the mechanical side up from the bottom.
Wow.
Yep.
That's super. So like again, it started in the collision shop. Have you like and at 3 years old, you just kind of grew up in the shop and kind of helped around and tinker around with what was going on
I
in
don't
there, or
know
was
if
it
I
kind
was helping. I don't know if I was helping. I'd like to think that I was helping at 3 and 4 and flip-flops and ponytails, but I spent about every summer with my father in the shop.
of?
Um, what did I do exactly as a toddler? I don't know. But I remember playing with sanding paper and big buckets of water and Bondo and all those good things, all the Bondo shavings. And it was just fun just being around the shop and just being at his side. So that was
Wow.
exciting. I would say that I really didn't start working until about 14 or 15. I was allowed to answer the phones and I can start doing
Oh,
estimates. But
nice.
like one of the funniest stories that people don't believe that at 16, when I had my driver's license and my own car, he actually left me at the shop for the summer by myself.
Wow.
So yeah, yeah,
And
that was exciting.
how was that experience of
I
just
mean, I'm still here. The business is still here. I don't remember it being. I was tired, and people say, "Oh, well, he had to come check on you." He didn't. He didn't come check on me. But I was telling Jimmy in a interview, it just hit me that, all those summers at the shop as a kid, not thinking that I was doing anything, not thinking that I was learning. Somehow dad was Mr. Miyagi and he was teaching me things and he knew. Of course, he had to know at 16 that he was comfortable leaving his business that he had built from the ground up with a teenage girl. So apparently he had enough trust in me to do that. And so maybe I knew what I was doing. That's what I think of it
Definitely.
now. Is like, because I couldn't imagine leaving the shop to my teenage kids at 16 and trusting them. So, no, maybe I had going on. I had a
Yeah,
father.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think that speaks a lot to what we'll talk more about later on in terms of giving the younger generation a chance.
Yeah,
That's
I
why
never put that together because I'm passionate about that.
yeah,
Yep.
no, but before we dig into that, in terms of do you miss the collision world at all? In terms of now that you're fully in the mechanical side.
No, I don't. I did not know how stressful that was until I didn't do it because that was my
Mm,
job. I did it for forever. Dealing with the insurance companies, I had my favorite adjusters they can get
yep.
along with, but dealing with insurance companies and having them dictate to you exactly how you're going to run your business
Mm,
and everything, like you had no say. Of course, everybody's like, yeah, they don't tell me what to do. They do. They do tell you what to do, and they tell you how long it should take, and they tell you how much they're going to pay you. And then the customers, by default, most of the times will believe the insurance company. So I
yep.
was really good at getting my customers on my side, not my side, saying, hey, I'm fixing your car. I'm tangible. You can find me. I have your best interests at heart. The billion-dollar insurance industry does not.
Yes.
Help me help you. And so fighting that battle, I love that part, the customer service part
Mhm.
of it. And I did like building estimates because it was an art to building a collision estimate. But
Yes,
other than
definitely.
that, no. The art of it, yes, but everything else about the business portion, no, not
Yeah.
at all.
And so that art aspect, now that you take it into the mechanical side,
Mhm.
what like, so what were the big leanings the learnings that you had there from the collision side that obviously as you're growing this mechanical side that you're like, hey, yeah, like this helped me get a head start now that you look back.
I think the customer service skills, because
Mm,
think about if I hope no one ever gets in an accident, but if you get in an accident, it's instant. Your life is changed within an instant. Usually with your car, it doesn't break down just like that. You've got
mhm.
warnings, you just
Yep.
ignore them, and it's usually maintenance. But the customers that you're dealing with a collision, they're already on pins and needles. So to calm someone and help them through a process, that helps me on the mechanical side, walking people through the process of maintaining their car and building trust and building relationships with my customers because you have to have that in a collision center. It's because there's a lot of emotions. You think you're just fixing the car, but that person just got in an accident. They may have gotten hurt. Now they're scared. They don't know how to navigate insurance policies. They don't know what to do next. They're going to be without their car for weeks at the time. But on the service side, it's a couple days at most. So customer service skills is what I got from that, and I could take it into the service side and win with that. That's what I
Yeah, no,
think. Yeah.
I absolutely love that. And it sounds like, I mean, based on your experience, especially from a young age of doing it, it has allowed you to kind of truly understand that customer journey. And so I assume at this point you have service advisors on your team. And so
Yeah.
how did you go about training them to be kind of that embodiment of you? Because you're like, I don't want to be at the front anymore, but I
You're
want you
right.
to be me. So how did you go
So
about doing that?
that's hard because I'm not a teacher, and I tell people that when I hire them, I'm not a teacher. So the joke that I like to tell is I don't know if anybody's watched the show Schitt's Creek. There's an episode when she's trying to teach him how to cook a quesadilla or something. She's just like, "Well, fold it in." She's telling him to fold the cheese in. So I was that parent too. It's like if Johnny had 5 apples, like I would just say it louder. I'm not a
Yeah.
good teacher. I'm
Yep.
not and so learning to be a coach and a teacher and a leader, that is like my testimony for the last 2 years, especially training with the Institute, just
Uh-huh.
stepping back and trying to show people how to do it. So as far as Haley is my service advisor that's been with me for the longest. She's been with me for 2 years and she's pretty young, but she catches up. She catches everything that I can do. She can kind of not mimic me, but she can see how I do it and then she can make it her own.
Mm.
So that part of training my service advisors on how to have great customer service with the newest one, what I find that I'm doing, he's only been with me since Monday, so 4 days.
Oh, wow.
Right. So I've been having meetings with him every day. And then I came up with a ton of operating procedures. I got it out of my head, got it on paper, literally walked through each process of how I like things to be done, put it in Chat GTP. Yes, I cheated and I put it in Chat GTP so you can
Not
get your
cheating.
words
Yeah.
right,
Yep.
right? And then you go in there, you clean it up, and you see how that flows, and then I can use that as a training tool. So it's my common sense and my history, with the industry and what I've been doing for the last X amount of years, and then my coaching companies that I've dealt with for the last 9 years on my own, especially the stuff that I'm learning with the Institute,
Mhm.
taking that, chewing it up for myself, understanding it, understand how it can apply to my business and my shop, because I don't like cookie cutter stuff.
Yep.
Getting those thoughts out of my head and say, hey, this is how I want to do it at Brown's. And so that's
Um,
kind of, I'm kind of building a teaching program right there in-house. But before it was just like, watch me do it 10 times and you should be able to do it.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I
Take the
think,
training wheels off. And if you fall, you get up and try it again.
yeah, and I think that that isn't a very effective way to learn. But I think also the fact that now you're extrapolating it out of your brain and putting it somewhere else
Right.
where some like it's digestible in a different way in a sense of like now they're
Right.
not just hearing the words you're telling them, like they can read it in their own style in a sense of
Hmm.
like, oh, this is kind of the at least the rubric of what she's expecting of me, but I don't have to be this exact thing. Like I can
Right.
kind of be my own personality, and that's what you kind of hired for. So I'm
Right.
curious then of like, what are some of those intangibles that you look for? Obviously, you just hired this individual. Are there certain
Hmm.
things that you're like, okay, yeah, that cannot be taught, or like I can really work with this in terms of like they don't have to be the exact perfect advisor right off the
Yeah.
rip.
I need someone that's going to be able to see my customer and understand what they need for that car.
Mm,
I need someone that's going to learn who my people are because these people have watched me grow up. They've watched my kids grow up. This is a family business. My name is on that business, and we're going to see these people in the grocery store. So everybody cannot just be a RO number. That
hmm
is a person that has a dog and a Subaru, and you need to remember that next time they come in. That's the person who has a kid that has to run to get to baseball practice by 4, so we have to have their car done at 2. So I look for somebody that actually cares. I hear people say the best place to find service advisors, a green one, is a nurse or a bartender or a waitress, someone that's really good with people. Because
Yes.
you can be really good with a car and really good at writing an estimate, but if you can't sell it to the person, then what's the point?
Mhm.
So I can build an estimate. I can teach you to build an estimate, but you really can't teach a personality. Personality is key.
Yeah,
Like
no,
look people in
definitely.
the eye, smell them, smile at them, a genuine compliment. Like, dude, I love your hat. I love it. The
Yeah,
colors on the hat is popping off the blue in the background. You got it going on. How can I help you today?
that's amazing. It
Yeah.
made me smile instantly. And so I think, yeah,
And
that's
that's learned,
yeah,
but yeah, you can learn to get better at it, but you have to know that that's important. And then everything else can be taught. They've got a coach for everything, but coaching for personality, you got to be born with that.
yeah, no, 100%. And I think just takes someone getting out of their own shell of doing
Hmm.
it because not all the time I think a good amount of people, especially in this day and age with like phones and whatnot, they just naturally become these introverts. So like maybe that's just
Hmm.
not what they were originally, but because now they're just staring at their phone all day and they text people, they
Yep.
don't want to call and do
Yeah.
all those things. And so like now finding this service advisor at times, people are like, no one wants to talk to anybody, so I
Yeah,
can't
they
even
want to send a
find.
text message.
Yeah,
I'll text them. No, did you call them? I'll text
yeah,
them. No. But what you just said, I have to tell you and tell everybody that I was that person. I never wanted to talk as a kid.
Mhm.
No, my grandmother would make me talk and they would say, what's the matter? The cat's got your tongue. Like I did not want to talk. Even now, I would prefer to be in my bed with a remote control and not
Yeah.
talking to you right now. But I
Mhm.
know that's not going to get me anywhere in life. And that's what my grandma taught me. It's like you're going to have to open your mouth. A closed mouth does not get fed. Open your mouth and smile. And you never know what that compliment or that smile can do for somebody and be genuine with it. I was at the gas station getting a Sprite yesterday, and the cashier, his name was Raj. It said Raj on his tag, and I said, "Well, thank you, Mr. Raj." And he said, "Thank you for calling me by my name." And I promise this happened just yesterday. And we forget how important just a smile will help somebody else because you don't know what they're going through. Especially
Mhm.
when the customer comes in, they've got the stupid light on the car. They just got this bill. They're getting ready to have another bill. Nobody really wants to come see me, right? So I might
Yeah.
as well make it pleasant.
Mhm.
So speaking up, smiling, and being genuine, because I don't want to all the time. I want to go get in the shell and play on my phone and go in a rabbit hole on TikTok. But that's not good. Can't
Yeah.
do that. Yeah.
Yeah, no, 100%. And I think now I think this is another great segue into this younger generation because the younger generation is getting molded by a technology that just wasn't prevalent for some of these owners back in the day where they're just like now they don't understand. They're like,
Right.
why are they addicted to looking at this thing or what are they looking at these videos for? Like what is even on there? It's
Yeah.
all these good go-to questions. But we chatted just very briefly before we started this, and you were like, owners need to give the younger generation a chance. And so
Yeah,
I would love to kind of understand your thought process of like, hey, how do you go about like, yes, you need to have standards, but like, how do
yeah.
you go about giving this leeway to allow them to flourish and grow?
Well, I like to think that at 18, 19, 20, that my parents probably thought my hair was dumb, my music was dumb, because I had like 16-inch woofers in the back of my Volkswagen Golf and boom, going down the street, and it was ignorant, right? This ignorant, loud music. We all had it. It was in the 60s, it was in the 70s, it was in the 90s. The hair, nobody, our hair was in stacks and it was weird, all kind of hairspray. And I'm pretty sure that was the dumbest thing to my parents, but they let me be who I was at that time. So when we hire or we're looking for a younger tech and they come into the interview and they're not really what you think they should look like. Maybe no one taught them that, dude, you should have wore a button-down shirt to the interview or at least a polo. Maybe you
Mm,
should have done this. Maybe their parents were too busy working two or three jobs to teach them that. But if you can see on the inside of that person just a glimpse and you can give them a chance, and you can ignore the hairstyle, you can ignore the radio, you can ignore the fact that they have a Honda that's slammed to the ground with a lot of purple neon stuff on it on it. I mean, if you can get past that and get to the person inside that is ready to be molded, you could find yourself a rock star. I mean, I've got three techs under the age of 30, including my youngest son. And I think I say, shut up like every 5 minutes, like the things that come out of it. But it's funny. But I also have a tech that I can see that sometimes he has confidence issues and he'll get angry because he doesn't know how to do it right or he didn't think he did it quick enough. And then I have to remind him that, hey, you've only been doing this 2 years. Why do you think you can do it as quickly as this tech that's been doing it for 20? I have to mold him and remind him and help him with his confidence. And right now, at this stage of my life and in my business, that is what's most important to me, that I can see him grow and mature where the shop that he came from didn't invest that time to have a conversation outside of a wrench in a toolbox. Have a conversation. So, hey, maybe you should read this book or listen to this book, or maybe you should listen to this podcast to help you with your anger issues
mm,
or things like that. Because it's not like they know and they don't do. Sometimes they just don't know. And so as an adult, as an auntie, I feel like that's my job to encourage. Now, you're not going to be able to save everybody. You can't save all the kids because some of them are know-it-alls, but some
mhm,
of them are sponges ready to grow. And yes, they are all about their phones and technology and all the things that are cool on TikTok. But those things that are cool on TikTok can also teach them and bring new knowledge into our shops. Because these cars are getting more and more sophisticated and they've
mhm,
got the younger brain for it and they're interested in it. And everybody is not supposed to go to a 4-year university, but no one wants to talk about that. So we get these kids that get out of high school and they don't know what to do with themselves because they didn't get into college. And so that's disappointing. They don't know what to do, but they can take a moped apart and put it back together. They can go hang with their friends in the garage and get the cars ready for what they call it, cars and coffee.
mm,
So the world is telling these kids just because they want to do stuff with their hands and they're going to be greasy and they're going to be blue collar, that they're not as smart and as important as the kid that's going to law school or medical school. That's what the world has been telling them for the last, heck, for me, 20, 30 years. I remember being in college and my girlfriends were like, "Ugh, I can't believe you work at your dad's shop. That's so dirty." And I'm the only one that's had a constant job.
mm.
Yeah. And so
Yeah,
like, look at me now.
yeah.
I mean, honestly, with Jordan, I talk about Jordan all the time. Everybody sees him on Facebook and whatever. But being in the industry, and this is our family business for the last 45 years. His senior year, and I want to say maybe Christmas or maybe Thanksgiving break, he was going to work with me. And Jordan is a bucket of fun. And my son was sad, and I could feel it. And we pull up to the shop, we're sitting in the parking lot, and I said, "What is wrong with you?" And he's crying because he had not been accepted to the colleges he applied for. Me being his mom, knowing what I know about the industry, I never thought he wanted to go to college. But that
Mm,
was the story that he told himself that he had to go to college to make me proud. And I said, did I ever say that? He said no, but he just assumed because that's what everybody did, right?
yeah.
And so this is a kid that's watching his mom make good money in this business, and he's been hanging around the shop. That's what he wants to do, but he was somehow ashamed of that.
Man, I love the raw feedback because I think
Yeah.
because even when I was going through high school, I mean, it was like a if I didn't go to college, I was in trouble.
Yeah.
And thankfully, I mean, I played sports in college that allows a different avenue as well in terms of like opportunities that regardless of grades or anything like that.
Hmm.
But now that I've created a business and done this, I'm like, honestly, college
It
is
wasn't for you.
if you're not meeting the right people and honestly creating the right network while you're there, it honestly doesn't matter in terms of what you do there. Just like it potentially creates debt for people to like now deal
Yes.
with a financial aspect that they were never taught how to deal
Yeah.
with at all. And
Yes.
now it's a panic mode of like, oh wait, now there's this bill I need to take care of on top of the
Yeah.
the bills that I'm being introduced to in my life as well, and it kind of really snowballs and impacts from there. So I love that you've allowed and created an opportunity to, regardless of if you went to college or what the best
Right.
colleges or whatever it may be, there's still an amazing opportunities for so many younger individuals to make a true impact in their own life, but also in the community and doing so many things to help people that, I mean, I guess my question would be how do we better get rid of this dogma of like, hey, yeah, oh, it's dirty work and it's greasy and it's nothing to be, I guess, sort of proud of when really it's one of the most, I guess, satisfying or achievement fulfilling roles that you can have in community. So I guess how do we
Yeah.
shift this persona?
Well, we have to make the public understand that, and I hate saying blue collar, and I don't know the proper words for it, but you have
Yeah.
to think about HVAC and plumbing, electrical, welders, and all those things. I remember I made a snobbish remark, and I don't know what it was about, and I was probably in middle school.
Mm,
And I'm not sure what I said, but I remember my mom's response was, what would we do if the trash man didn't show up to work? So I think that people in general don't have respect for our industries until it's time for them to need us.
mhm,
If your AC went out in July in California, how much respect would you have for the HVAC man then? When your car cannot go anywhere and you can't YouTube it and your uncle can't get it because you guys don't have a lift and you don't have a computer and you don't have the technology, what do you do then? So I think we have to teach the public that we're not just dirty fingernails and, blue collar, blue pants, Timberland boots or whatever boots the guys wear. Um, it's dirty hands and clean money. It's a lot
mhm,
of knowledge behind that. And we are doing the work that keeps the world going, literally. We
yeah,
are working on the most expensive thing next to your house and or your boat and your RV that you own.
mhm,
And we're also working on something that gets you back and forth to your job every day. And you're carrying your kids and your puppies. And this is something that could kill you. It could kill someone next to you. Why do you want to disrespect us as an industry or any industry, that falls under that umbrella
mhm,
with the way that you refuse to want to pay us for our time and our knowledge and our equipment? So I think is what we need a public service announcement and say, hey, respect me. And then the kids will say, yeah, respect us because this is a good job that I have. And
mhm.
yes, I might be dirty when I get home, but I did some satisfying work that did good in the world.
Yeah,
Like, what if we like just
100%.
all of us blue collar people went on strike and say, yeah, be cold, be
Yeah.
hot. Your car, yeah, have all the lights on.
Go walk to work.
Respect my authority. I don't think we get respect in the households, and that
Mhm.
trickles down, and the kids hear that. and the kids that want to be the HVAC guy or the electrician and wants to climb that pole because that was cool. It's cool to be a police officer and a fireman. And then, I remember Jordan, we literally just left the scrap yard. He was thinking about the videos he used to watch of the Mighty Machines. It was the video called Mighty Machines. And
Mhm.
it was just construction workers and watching the trucks work and watching all the guys do the cool stuff. When did that stop being cool to kids? Who told them it wasn't cool? Was it the high school teacher, the guidance counselor, mom, dad?
That's a great point because yeah, when you're growing up, I mean, like Legos are so prevalent and like playing with the Hot Wheels are so prevalent and like that's like I mean, right now I'm in it. Like that's what my kids do all day long. And
And
so
Jordan's 19. He still has Legos and Hot Wheels. I
yeah, and
promise
so
you,
like
they're all in his room.
when did it just mentally maybe because we're just like in school you're stuck inside all day and so then you feel like, well, I
Right?
need to be stuck inside for the rest of my life and that's what's
And you don't get to use
comfortable.
your imagination.
Yeah. I
There's
mean,
no more shop class.
yeah,
My
and there's
father had automotive class in high school, and that's how he got into this. So when I was in high school, we had shop, woodworking, we did welding, leatherworking, automotive. Think about all of those things that are not in school anymore. And they don't, like you said, they don't even get to go outside anymore to explore and use an imagination. You just got books and
and
test,
yeah, and tons of homework where like you just go home and that's what you do and you're inside
right?
again. And yeah, I mean, it's kind of it's this perpetual system where you kind of get stuck. And then now there's this disapproval of where
Yeah.
I think maybe it's the depiction of that dirty where you said, yeah, it's a
Yeah.
like a dirty job, but like clean money. And I think
Yeah.
maybe there's maybe a better education that we need to do along the lines of like, hey, like this is what the business can do and what you can get paid and
Yeah.
things where like there's just this misinterpretation of where, oh, you do this work and you don't get paid very much. Or maybe
Right.
that's the correlation because you're dirty, you don't get very much. But I don't know
Yeah.
how to get rid of that. I mean, what are your thoughts? I mean, you're right now you have your son going through it and I'm sure
I've been
maybe he
using
receives
him
feedback.
I've been using him on my business social media, and I've made that post. Every kid's not made for college. This is good money. The trades are good for your children. And I feature him a lot, and I can show pictures of him when he was 2 years old running around the shop. When he thought the muffler was the engine and because it was loud, that made it work. I could
Mm.
I'm like talking to him today about him just looking at the big stuff at the scrap yards. He's still excited about it. I just nourished whatever he wanted to do. That's what I did. And so right now, I am focused in as my marketing, I focus on making my employees seem real to customers. Like literally on any postcard, social media post, or whatever, my employees are front and center. This is such and such. He's a dad of three. He enjoys this. This is what he does. I'm just making them humans instead of the little dirty people in the back fixing my car.
Mm.
And I just ordered a bunch of photos I'm changing my whole outlook on the front office. There's no car stuff. It's all about my employees and my team. These are the people that are keeping you going. You will respect them. They're people back there. And so it just has to be conversations that are had over and over and over again. Now, so there's a guy, he's the Dirty Jobs guy. He used to have a
Yep.
TV show. I can't
Yeah,
remember his
yeah.
name,
I
but more
can't
people
even
like
do.
that.
Yeah.
Just talk about it. There's some cool jobs out there for these kids, and they don't have to spend $80,000 on a college degree that they're never going to use. Or just go to the local community college.
Yeah.
Figure out what you want to do at the community college. And if that leads you to medical school, nursing school, or whatever, that is great also. But I don't think we allow the kids to explore what
Yeah.
they really want to do.
And I think it's that really that financial impact that is just not understood, where it's like, oh, maybe a doctor or a lawyer, you just see the final product of like, hey,
Mm,
yeah, they're now they're making well in the large six figures, maybe sometimes seven figures, wherever they
yeah,
may be. But like the amount of money that it took to even get anywhere close to that point, and then the break even point is probably well into their 40s, like
yeah,
in terms of like when it actually happened for most individuals. And it's like, well, if you didn't go to college and you just immediately started this role where yes, you start at the bottom and you're a tech and you're just cleaning stuff up and now
Yeah.
you only did oil changes. That's all they trusted you to do and that's where you started and you just started kept growing from there and now in a matter of say 5 years or you're making well into the six figures and now you're one of the main techs in the shop and you didn't have any debt that entire time and so now this is
On the
all
job
top line.
training.
So yeah, I think maybe there's just that different aspect that needs to be taught of like, hey, look at this financial statement of like someone's life in the first 5 years post high school versus this other person that took this different path, five
Yeah.
years post high school, and like would you like this life better than this life? Like would it
Yeah.
just maybe not even saying what the role is. It's like, hey, this is just a financial top side bottom, whatever it is offset, and maybe there's a different look that people will start to have there and be able to
Mhm.
be like, no, this is a true career path for me and what can come of it. Like, yes, maybe some of the work seems hard, but that's hard to like others that like aren't comfortable with that. Some people like have a
Right.
passion for fixing things,
Hmm.
and this is a true career
They
path.
tear it up just to fix it.
Yeah.
Let's tear this apart and just to see how it works. Okay. Maybe there's like 4 or 5 bolts left out that we don't know where they go, but it's fun, right? It's
Yeah.
okay. And that can make you some money.
Yeah. And but for I guess when people are taking the risk of like, hey, they are hiring the younger individuals,
Hmm.
do they need to say budget a little bit more for mistakes that will
Oh,
potentially
yeah.
take place?
I mean, even if it's a new tech and it's a 30-year-old tech, you're going to have a curve of learning. They're going to mess up some stuff. Now, if they mess up the same thing 2 or 3 times, you slap them around a little bit. Okay, don't slap people around. But, I mean, we still make mistakes. Yeah.
Yep.
Because I'm pretty sure there's some shop owners out there that just really screwed up something royally this week. So you make the mistakes and they learn from them. And you're not going to make as much money off of this kid because he's only pulling 20 hours a week, but he's in there to learn. It's an investment within like
Mhm.
anything. It's an investment.
Yep.
And
And
even if that kid decides after 3 to 5 years, I don't want to do this anymore, and you've invested this time and you've invested this training, look what you did. You helped the human race. There's so much more to gain than just a profit off of everything. And I know he's like, well, you can say that because your shop is profitable. Sometimes it was not.
mm,
But I told one young man the other day, he wanted me to, his wife wanted to invite me to their wedding. He's like, well, I feel goofy asking you this. And he's one of my younger techs. And I said, at this stage in my life, that means more to me than any KPI, that you actually want me to be a part of your life. And I think about the younger techs that used to work for me right out of high school, just my little minions, how they still keep up with me and
mhm,
send me the kids' pictures and this, that, and whatever, and watching them grow. Yeah, they only worked for me a year or two, but I had some kind of impact on them, saying, hey, read this book, hey, do this, hey, don't do that. Boy, have you lost your mind. Like, playing auntie to these people and being a part of their lives. You can't you can't put a price tag on that.
mhm.
And
Oh,
so we have to worry about our KPIs. We have to keep the lights on. We have to make sure all the payroll clears and the taxes are paid. But there also is a a human KPI that we have to learn how to measure. What are we giving back? We talk about culture, we talk about giving back to the community, giving back to the community, giving back to the community. Are you giving back within your own shop? Are you building within your own shop? Are you taking care of the people that are putting the work in? Are you helping them with their personal goals? That's one
mhm.
thing that I'm really learning about leadership through the Institute. Like, you think you're doing it, but are you really? You're having the one-on-ones, and it sounds all mushy, like, "Look, as long as the dude comes in, clocks in, doesn't break anything, and clocks out." No, we can't do that anymore. You do that in
Yeah.
the first 2 or 3 years of business, but then as you start to grow and you want to build a team and you want your name to mean something, we can put stuff on billboards all the time and we can put things on a magazine cover, but what's happening inside of your shop with the people that are you're there with 8 to 10 hours a day?
Oh, definitely.
Well, you're not going to make money off of every single one of them yet, but there's something there that you have to give and teach. Somebody didn't give or say a certain thing to you that you wish you heard as a 25-year-old technician or as a 25-year-old service advisor. What can you say? What can you pour into them that's going to make a difference? That's going to
100%.
keep them off a couch with a shrink 15 years from now.
Yeah, and I think it's that patience that people maybe need to be retaught of how to kind of give that time back. Because like again, I think now you were talking about this younger generation. There are individuals that are hungry. I think a lot of the older generation sometimes just pigeonholes everyone like, oh, they all are lazy and they all don't
Yeah.
want to do it like that. Like yes, there are individuals like that, but there are also individuals like that in the older generation too. And maybe the ratio isn't the same, but regardless, in your own shops, you're not looking for this ratio of like, oh, I want all the lazy people. Like, no, you have to maybe dig a little bit deeper and find the ones that are hungry.
Yeah.
But then now I want to challenge, say, the older generation because sometimes they don't have that time or patience to be like, I don't want to now train this younger guy or like, yes, I have all this knowledge, but like I'm doing my thing and I just want to keep doing that. So how do we, I guess, push against that a little bit of like, hey, now that we've convinced some amazing young individuals to come into the shop, how
Mhm.
do we get that transfer of knowledge to take place now from, say, the older people that are in the shop and like want to give that versus like oh, I'm
I
being
don't want
told
to
I
do
have
that.
to. Yeah.
Yeah, they're gonna have a mindset of leadership. I was like, dude, I know he's slowing you down,
Mm,
but you slowed somebody down. That's what I tell my two older guys. They're not older, but I say you
yeah.
slowed somebody down. Someone had to teach you. Like you can give them a monetary incentive to help train this kid or whatever.
Mhm.
But when you're having conversations and you're having the one-on-ones and the meetings and whatever, make it about leadership because leadership is more than just, the shop owner's not the only leader. He can become a leader to that kid. And I think one of the things is it might even make their job easier or better. You know, youth they're a trip, man. It's a trip just to sit there and look at a kid and be like, boy, you're just as dumb as a box of rocks. But you gotta laugh at it, right? You can turn that grumpy old tech into like the grumpy old tech that actually is looking at the kid like, stupid. But when the kid doesn't shows up, he'll miss him. I don't know.
Mm.
It's like maybe getting him a puppy.
Yeah.
The younger tech will turn into the shop dog, and even though he wants to kick the dog sometimes, he really loves him. He wants to scratch him behind the ear. I think if people really thought about what they were saying when they're saying, "I don't want to teach this person," and how selfish that is, if they can hear it out loud, then they would change their mind. Like for example, myself, I told you like when I'm saying this stuff. I'm literally preaching to myself because I have to remind myself every now and again. Because it's easier to I just do it my damn self. Myself, I'm sorry, excuse me. I'll
Yeah.
just do it myself. I don't have time to teach. But then there's been a couple occasions when I could not be there to do it for myself. Or I couldn't because I was sick and my old butt was in the hospital. And then if I did not train the people that I employ to do the job, then everything would stop.
Mm.
So it was old man Russell's back there, and old man Russell doesn't want to teach Tony how to do anything because Tony's an idiot. Old man Russell, make Tony pick up the heavy parts. Make Tony carry to do your tire jobs. And he's going to learn by osmosis. Use him and teach him along the way. You know, they can use the apprentice as a tool.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking. I mean, I couldn't imagine because I know sometimes I'm just like, you know what, I'll just do it myself. I'll do it myself. I'll do it myself. But I have to get out of that mindset. And then if you love the industry, if you love what you're doing, if you take pride in it, why would you not want to share that with somebody else to keep it going on?
That is an absolutely profound statement. And I appreciate all the knowledge that you've shared in terms of helping bridge the gap of like, hey, yes, this is what happens when you take, say, a risk on younger individuals and you allow them to flourish. And now you have these younger techs that you're not worried about, oh, they're going to retire in the next couple of years. Like, no, that's not even a thought process you have to
Right.
worry about because now you're molding this younger generation that's in there. And honestly, when you have a younger team, other young people want to potentially want to work with those people too because they're like, oh,
Yeah.
like sometimes it's hard to like just like pony up and be like, oh, I'm going to be the first young person at this role. But yes, thankfully, some people do take that leap and have that courage.
Right.
When there's other young ones in there, they're like, oh, I have a buddy now. Like you have young people that work there, and I can go work there too and fit right in. I feel like, and they'll relate to me, they'll understand me, and now
Yeah,
yes, you have this younger culture, but a young culture is not bad at all in terms
it's
of like,
not bad. And they can teach the older as well.
yeah.
I mean, there's some things that we get an update on Tech Metric, and I am not learning that, Haley. Ma'am, I don't care. You do it in my brain. I don't want a new cell phone, okay? So imagine all the new technology, the stuff with the DVIs. These young techs, you can bring them in there, teach them how to do a proper DVI and do it
Mhm.
exactly like you want to. Or you can sit there and fight with Bill for 17 years because he's like, I'm not doing it. It's stupid. Or you
Yeah.
can bring them in there, you can mold them the way you want them to do it.
And it's crazy how fast it's almost like maybe it's because video games was prevalent in their life and they're like they had to learn the game so quickly and like some
Yeah,
people learn like I remember I would not even read the instructions. I would just start playing and then you'd learn it that way. And I think maybe for them that's why when say a new update comes up in one of these softwares, they're like,
yeah,
oh, this is
yeah,
easy. I'll play with it. I'll figure it out as it goes
yeah.
along. Whereas the older, they just didn't have that technology to be used to playing with in their hands in a sense.
You run
And
out of patience. I don't even want to update my phone. Like,
it's always
no.
delay till tomorrow, and you get this
Delay,
reminder.
delay,
Yeah,
delay until it
every
powers
other
down. You're like,
day.
daggone it, it's updating. Where are my apps? Who moved my apps?
Yeah, no, and I feel like I would still consider myself on the younger end, but like we leverage Slack, and there's certain things in there that people are like throwing in different stuff. I'm like, I don't know how to do this. And some like my assistant like was able to schedule out like she was on vacation, but she scheduled out messages to remind me to do certain things, so she knows I'm going to
Yeah,
forget. I'm
right.
like, I didn't even know you could schedule messages in here. Like, how did you even do that? I don't even know where to go. And so I'm just like, oh my goodness, I like that the younger generation just catches on to things so much quicker and then
Yeah.
you can possibly manage and that can just really in this day of AI and whatnot can just really systematize your operations in a different way that maybe people don't expect. And so I think taking that leap, taking that chance is huge. And I love that you are such a big proponent of it. And I
Yeah.
think also like allowing your son in this particular case to be able to flourish in something that's maybe not as grandiose as some of the other job labels are, but is
Yeah.
plenty in terms of what the results end up being at the end of the
He's
day.
making a difference. And then one more thing I wanted to say is when you were just saying that about your assistant knowing how to do these things, we have to not let the people that we hire, don't be afraid to let them be smarter than you.
Mm,
Like that is a thing. Like you don't want, you want them to be smarter than you so you can go home. Like just do it. Like, why would you be not jealous? That's not the right word, but you need your team to be smarter and stronger than you
mhm.
so they can bring ideas to the table that maybe you would have never thought of. Or like the whole Slack thing. Gets on my nerves, that little thing
Yeah.
popping up, but it works wonders at the shop,
Yep.
so you definitely want team and then younger technicians that can teach the old guy the easier way to do that now. It's like, yeah, we don't have to do that anymore.
Yeah.
Like we
The
can
amount of
we can just do
speed
that.
that like young people are able to create in their minds of like, oh, you can just instead of doing it in this maybe this normal path that you've done it all your life, but like
Yeah,
there's this shortcut that you can just go zoop, and it gets the same result. And you're like,
right.
wait, what? Like since when
Yeah,
since when was this an option to be able to, and again, they're able to see it in a different lens that I think I'm hoping that people can open that door a little bit for
yeah,
jobs and not just be like, oh, they have to be a certain age demographic to fit in with everybody else. And the way we do things, I know they'll be, and oh, they have to have this background because oh, they've been taught certain things that now I don't need to worry about teaching. Like no, like let's mold a younger people, and then now you have a more youthful business
mm-hmm,
because now all the customers, like, they're not going to magically just keep getting older and older and older. Like the younger generation becomes your customer, and
mm-hmm,
now you have people in the shop that will relate to them versus
exactly.
not at all. So yeah, I think again, Tonnika, I appreciate your time today. It's been absolutely amazing to get to hear your take and your knowledge and the amazing experience that you've had literally growing up in the shop since 3 years old. And the
Yeah.
shop's been almost 50 years now. It's 45 years. So that's
45 years, brother.
that's amazing
It
to have
is
a
wild.
business in business for that long, approaching 50. I hope you celebrate 50 in a big way because
Oh, yeah.
that is an amazing number to be able to hit. But as a parting gift, for those still listening, hopefully they are still listening, what is a book that maybe you recommend that others are, hey, you need to read this book because this is kind of a game changer either for you or maybe someone else in the shop.
Well, you did tell me you're going to ask that. And so the book that I go to over and over again is Misfire. It's a very small book.
I've never heard of this one. What is this?
Exactly. I want to find the author, but I didn't look it up. So one of my first coach, Rick White, had us read the book Misfire.
Hmm.
And it's a book that I will actually I listen to it because I'm lazy. And that's another thing, people. You don't have to read the book, but
Yep.
at least put it in your ears. So listen to it. So Misfire is one minute manager. I do that. The servant leader. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but
Yep.
I love
Yep.
that one as well. So those are the books that I listen to probably at least once a year.
Love it.
To remind me, again, like I said, no guru here. I'm not a guru. When I say these things, I am saying it to myself. I am preaching to myself over and over again to remind myself. And those books do that for me. Like, what kind of business do you want to have? So the servant leader right now will remind me that, okay, be nice, lead, do good work, and it'll all come back to you. Be nice, lead. You cannot roll your eyes at everybody. Do good work. It'll all come back to you. God is good. It's like a reminder. Like we listen to the same song because I can remember songs from like when I was 10. So
Mhm.
the same thing, just keep that
Yep.
whole library going in your brain all the time. So those are some of my favorite books. But The Servant Leader is like, I think that's number one for me right now.
Yeah.
Misfire and The Servant Leader.
I love how you brought up the songs when you're 10. It's crazy how like the songs when you're young, you just hear the beat and all of a sudden, boom,
You
all
know
the
it, right?
lyrics pop back into your mind. You know it perfectly. And I think people need to do that more often with other things. Where like,
Hmm.
and maybe if they need to make it into a song, make it into a song. But like that way, it sticks and it becomes a mantra for yourself to kind of recenter yourself of what you need to
Yeah.
do and focus on. So, Tanika, thank you so much again for those that maybe this conversation really resonated with them, and they're like, I need to reach out to her because I
Please.
this relates a lot to me. So what is the best way to reach out to you and get in touch with you?
Face space. Find me on face space. Send me a message. I won't block you. Don't send me anything weird because then I will block you. But no, send me an email, which is very long email. But if you go to our website, you can find me.
Okay.
Just send me a message. I love talking to people. I don't think it's weird anymore. I used to think it was like, what do you want to talk to me about? I don't know anything. But we're all like fighting similar battles within the job. Whether you have one shop, you're just starting, you've been doing it 15, 20 years, we all have something to offer because you might be going through something that I can help with, and then I might be going through something that you can help me with. So I think we should just communicate more as shop owners, even the shops that are right up street from me. We're not in competition. We can't fix all the cars at Brown's Automotive. We got to share the cars. So if we're
Yeah.
going to share the cars, we might as well share the knowledge. And I'll just listen to you cry, and then I will tell you if I think you're crazy or not. So, and I won't charge you for that either. So until you
Perfect.
finish, and I'll say, that was the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life, or you got a point.
Yeah.
So I'll be who I
100%.
am, but I would love to hear from people. Definitely.
I love that. Well, Tanika, thank you so much for your time again. For those watching, if you haven't already liked or subscribed, please do so. But I'm Kelsey Ostrom with Lift Auto Repair Marketing. We'll talk to you guys again next time. Bye.
Bye.